this video, my artwork features, one of the elements that's featured in my artwork is the harvest moon. And here are some fun facts about the harvest moon. Here in the northern hemisphere, we call the full moon closest to the autumn equinox the harvest moon. In 2021, the northern hemisphere autumn equinox came on September 22nd. The full moon fell less than 2 days earlier on September 20th. Thus, for the northern hemisphere, this full moon, the full moon closest to the autumn equinox, is our harvest moon. Depending on the year, the full harvest moon can occur anywhere from 2 weeks before the autumn equinox to 2 weeks after. The harvest moon is either the last full moon of the summer season or the first full moon in autumn. This year, the September full moon was the fourth of the season's 4 full moons. That's the fourth moon of summer for the northern hemisphere and the fourth winter full moon for the southern hemisphere. For the southern hemisphere, the harvest moon always comes in March or early April. It last took place on March 28, 2021, and will next happen March 18, 2022. Most often, a season has 3 full moons. This time around, however, 4 full moons take place in one season between the June solstice and September equinox. 4 full moons in one season is quite atypical. Therefore, some people refer to the third of these 4 full moons as a seasonal blue moon. Actually, that definition of blue moon preceded the better known definition by popular acclaim. Most regard a blue moon as the second of 2 full moons in one calendar month. What is the harvest moon? The harvest moon is just a name, and in some ways it's like another full moon name, but these autumn full moons do have special characteristics related to the time of moonrise. Nature is particularly cooperative in giving us dusk till dawn moonlight for several evenings in a row around the time of the harvest moon. On average, the full moon rises around sunset and rises about 50 minutes later each day, but when a full moon happens close to an autumn equinox, the moon on the following nights rises closer to the time of sunset. For mid-temperate latitudes, it rises only about 20 to 25 minutes later daily for several days before and after the full harvest moon. Is the harvest moon bigger or brighter or more colorful? Because the moon's orbit around Earth isn't a perfect circle, the harvest moon's distance from Earth and apparent size in our sky differs from year to year. Last year in 2020, the harvest moon was the second smallest full moon of 2020. In 2019, the harvest moon was actually a micro moon or mini moon, the most distant and smallest full moon of the year for 2019. But 5 to 6 years ago, September 28, 2015, the harvest moon was the year's closest and biggest supermoon. No, the full harvest moon is not necessarily closer than other full moons. It all depends on the year. In 2021, it's pretty much an average size full moon. Still, in any year, you might think the harvest moon looks bigger or brighter or more orange. That's because the harvest moon has such a powerful mystique. Many people look for it shortly after sunset around the time of the full moon. After sunset, around the time of any full moon, the moon will always be near the horizon. It'll have just risen. It's the location of the moon near the horizon that causes the harvest moon or any full moon to look bigger and orange in color. Orange color due to the thickness of Earth's atmosphere near horizon. The orange color of a moon near the horizon is a true physical effect. It stems from the fact that when you look toward the horizon, you're looking through a greater thickness of Earth's atmosphere than when you gaze up and overhead. The bigger than usual size of the moon seen near the horizon is something else entirely. It's a trick that your eyes are playing, an illusion called the moon illusion. When is the harvest moon in 2021? The exact time of the harvest full moon, the harvest moon was September 20th at 23:54 Universal Time. By the way, more often than not, the September full moon is the Northern Hemisphere's harvest moon. But if the full moon occurs in early October, as it did in 2020, the October full moon is that year's harvest moon. How did the harvest moon get its name? The harvest moon received its name from the Native Americans who used the moon to determine when it was time to harvest their corn. Since the moon rise of the harvest moon follows shortly after sunset, there is a period of time when an abundance of moonlight shines bright at the start of the evening. And what about black cats? What is the what is the symbolism for black cats? Across medieval Europe, black cats were associated with superstition and bad luck. This association led them to be the perfect sidekick to any witch who wants to curse you. It was also believed that witches would transform into black cats, much like vampires become bats. In the U.S., the association with black cats started with the Puritan pilgrims from the Plymouth colony. In the U.S., many shelters won't even put black cats up for adoption as they are worried that people may obtain them solely for Halloween. Ancient Egyptians worshipped cats, black cats, and saw them as gods. In Japan, black cats are seen to be a form of Cupid. They believe you are more likely to find love if you have a black cat. But across France and Spain during medieval times, cats were associated with bad luck and curses. Other myths of what black cats will bring to you include if a black cat is resting on the bed of an ill person, it will bring them death. And if you turn your back to a black cat, you will become cursed. These myths and superstitions have stuck with us and are the initial building blocks to our mystical association with black cats.